GM, just a quick one before we get going. So, as you know, the Blocmates podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Certainly shouldn't be considered as financial advice. We have absolutely no idea what we're talking about half the time. So, any investment decision you do make should be based on your own research and your understanding of the risks involved. One more thing as well, there's around 50% of people who listen regularly who aren't subscribed yet. So, if you please could just do us a favor and hit the subscribe or the follow button or the like button, helps content grow, helps us grow, helps it reach more people like yourselves, and it mean the world to us as well. So that's the last I'll ask of you. So yeah, let's get to the episode.
GM, and welcome back to the channel with me, Gareth, aka CryptoTube, across socials, bringing you the latest from Y2K Finance with their V2 update. So in this one, I'm going to drop you the TLDR on Y2K, what it does and what it allows you to do. We'll also go through the Dapp itself so you can see it, and then finally show you the benefits of the V2 updates and what they mean for this protocol, as it should take it to the very next level. So mandatory steps for you at home here: subscribe to the channel, drop us a nice comment down below, and we can jump on in. So here we have the main Dapp. Now, what does it allow you to do? Well, it allows you to take either side of the following bet. Do you believe a pegged asset can maintain its peg, or will it break peg to a specified strike price? So essentially you can make bets based on depegging events and also insure yourself if you have exposure to some of these pegged assets. Pegged assets include stablecoins, think USDC, also LSDs, ETH staking derivatives such as STETH, just to give you a bit of a flavor. So here we have a DeFi native form of insurance to actually hedge against our exposure to these various assets and ensure we don't get wrecked if the worst case scenario actually unfolds. Think about it, USDC depegged to like 85 cents previously, leaving some people in a shambles. So on the Dapp here, you can see the two sides you can take. You can either mint a premium or mint a collateral. So this is the two sides of the bet. So as an example here, you are a user exposed to the MIM token. This is magic internet money. It should be pegged to 1 USD. However, if you've got a lot of exposure and you want to hedge against the risk of this depegging, what you can do is come here and mint a premium. Select your token, then select the strike price. As you can see, 0.975 cents. Current price is 0.9986. You then have to choose the next epoch. So this is the time frame within which you are getting the coverage. Then choose your deposit amount, and you would scroll down to the mint premium button down there, where it will mint you an ERC 1155 token, an NFT of your position. Then if a depeg event happens in that time frame, all the people who took the other side of the bet, the ones who have minted on the collateral side here, their funds will be liquidated and be sent proportionally over to the premium side. So there's two vaults in action. You've got collateral and premium. One of them is getting liquidated and the funds will be transferred to the others on the opposing side. One thing to note on the collateral side of things, these individuals will be given a premium irrelevant if they are liquidated or not, as they are providing that hedge to the other side of the equation. Now the protocol fee for this is 5% on all claims, 50% of which goes to VL Y2K lockers, and 50% goes to the protocol. So what we're actually seeing across the crypto landscape now is there are many different stablecoins coming to the fore. So a lot of the top protocols, think about it, Curve USD, Aave with GHO, Dopex have their own stablecoin, USD Zero. Lots of markets are coming, and so the potential size of the pie here for Y2K to take advantage of is just growing and growing and growing. So we've seen both sides of the equation there with that quick TLDR. You've got the collateral, and on the flip side, you've got people who are exposed to said stable asset or pegged asset, and they want to alleviate some of the potential dangers and take out a premium against the worst happening and depegging occurring. But let's jump into the V2 update, which has seen a load of improvements for Y2K. So the first improvement to highlight here is the use of the carousel. For any of you amusement park enjoyers out there, what is a carousel? Well, essentially, this allows for the automation of you to continually and in perpetuity have your vault participation until you were to get liquidated. So as you can see from the diagram down here, rollovers can take place via the use of these keepers. So this is automation. The keepers allow you to just roll over your deposits into the very next epoch, which is a major friction point now being dealt with. So this makes an improvement on the cumbersome previous V1, where you would have to actually withdraw your positions and then redeposit them each and every time. So each epoch, you would have to go through that process, withdraw, redeposit, plus users were having to wait for the deposit windows to open. So you think about it, it could be a bit of a painful experience for those users. But now with V2, you have the carousel ride in full swing and 24/7 deposits. So in my mind, this is likely to increase the stickiness of TVL as it reduces the pain points and the amount of work that anyone has to do when participating with Y2K. Now the keepers do charge a small fee for the transaction cost of executing this, but another advantage of using these keepers is the fact you will now be deposited into the deposit window during the first few blocks. And as you can see from the information tax here, this will reduce the amount of information tax you have to pay. This is another new feature from V2 we'll talk about in just a second. But overall, by having the carousel enabled, these keepers doing the work in the background, it just simplifies the process for users. And also, if you think about it, if other protocols want to interact with Y2K, maybe offer it as part of their services, this will make it a much more viable product for them to offer. So the next V2 feature upgrade to talk about here is the information tax we just touched upon. Any of you math nerds out there may want to check out the formula on screen here. But essentially, what is this? Well, this actually generates a new form of revenue for the protocol and also makes people pay for information asymmetry. So in V1, this tax did not exist. So the issue with this was that early depositors were kind of penalized. Later depositors, and typically what they were finding was most of the action was happening in like the last 30 minutes of the deposit window. And that was due to the fact information asymmetry existed. So say if you're hearing rumblings around a particular stablecoin, maybe you think it's going to depeg. Well, if you got involved straight out the gates of the start of a deposit period, you're in a worse position information-wise than someone who could ape in at the last moment. So to tackle this issue, the information tax means that as an epoch draws nearer, the deposit fee paid linearly increases. So the longer you wait, the more tax you pay. It's not obscene. It doesn't mean you can't do this profitably now, but it is a form of tax you have to pay for that information asymmetry. And it also generates more revenue for the protocol overall. So in some ways, this kind of evens the playing fields. It actually incentivizes people to get involved a lot earlier as well, and also opt into the carousel additionally. Plus the fact it does generate an additional source of income is obviously good stuff for the VL Y2K lockers. Now, the next V2 upgrade of note is the fact that the Oracle situation has improved somewhat. So with an increased number of Oracles being tapped into, they've reduced their reliance on Chainlink only. And this means the greater number of price feeds will result in more assets being listed. And thus the number of markets live since V2 has been increasing as well, and more to come. It's also good to reduce the reliance on one single Oracle provider, because if there is any errors, that obviously has catastrophic consequences for those with funds in the vaults. Furthermore, as you can see from the bottom paragraph down here, the vaults are now able to accept other ERC20 tokens outside of wrapped ETH. So back to the V2 vaults here, you can see under the strike price here, we have the deposit asset wrapped ETH that was in V1, but now also added is the ARB token from Arbitrum. So if you do have some Arbitrum tokens left from the airdrop and you don't know what to do with them, maybe you could deposit them here as collateral and start to generate some yield off the back of those. So with this update, generally I can see there being a much larger pie here for Y2K to get involved with, and a lot of strategies can be developed now around these various assets. Then the final major V2 upgrade here is the fact they're trying to make this a lot more composable. So what they've done is opened up the code base. So this will mean that other protocols can now tap into Y2K, use it as a bit of a Lego block and build on top of it, use the product and offer it as a service to their communities. This again likely to increase the overall TVL. And as you can see, some of the examples initially brainstormed the likes of a protocol could offer insurance to liquidity providers of pegged assets. DAOs could build custom insurance products for their own pegged assets as well. And protocols building hedged farming vaults, so yield farmers can get better protection from the pegged assets they're exposed to. So as a Lego piece building block in DeFi here, this would mean more users would generate more TVL would generate more fees, and thus VL Y2K lockers could be handsomely rewarded. So you can see from this, Y2K is a bit of a picks and shovels play around all the pegged assets coming to our industry, the ever-expanding number of stablecoins, the ever-expanding number of LSDs. So as a DeFi native insurance policy of sorts, I think this has a huge total addressable market. As you can see, market cap just around $2 million, FDV around 10. Not financial advice, but we're pretty bullish here on Y2K Finance. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, smash a like on the video, comment down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.